Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of You Ought to Know Live, seen and heard live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Google works properly. And this night, Google works properly. Everybody that's on the show has video and audio, and it's all good. Good to be with you guys today. I'm Dave Serio, the host of You Ought to Know, a radio show that is seen and heard live in Maryland and also in Florida every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., right on daveserio.com and 4 radio stations in Maryland and Florida. Good to have Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop with us today, and also Dave Windward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Hopefully, Jose Bueso will be joining us from Dynamic Automotive in just a little bit. But let's get started with our number one visitor, the guy who showed up first tonight, Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Good evening to you, Mr. Mike.
Evening, Dave.
Good to talk to you today, sir.
Yes, sir.
You are the owner and operator, along with your beautiful wife, Lena, of the Shine Shop. Now, that is a detail shop that's just a little extreme in my estimation. That's why I call you an extreme detailer. You generally spend about a day or more on an automobile, polishing, cleaning, and getting the car to what you call 98% correctness, but anybody else's eyeballs probably 100% correctness. And after that, you then coat the car in either a synthetic wax or what is now the new rage, the ceramic coatings. Tell us a little bit about ceramic coatings and what they do and why you use them.
Well, we started using them it's been about 3 years now. And the reason we got into it was basically because of durability. They last years instead of months or weeks. And the maintenance on them is basically wash your car when it's dirty. You don't need anything special, no spray detailers, things like that. So what we found, though, is that they actually make the car look really good. I mean, they magnify whatever's underneath of it. So the whole thing about doing coatings is you really need to know how to polish paint the close to perfect as possible, because if you leave any defects, it'll just magnify the defects. So that's what we've probably got. It's probably 95% of our business now are coatings.
Now, folks, I want to tell you something. If you look behind Mike right now, you're probably going to see what Mike would call a dirty car, but that is his 2013 Challenger RT, correct?
Yes, finally back from the repair shop.
Oh, what a repair shop? What happened?
That's kind of a story.
I want to tell. Come on, let's hear it.
Well, not that I drive sportingly, but I ordered cross-drilled and slotted rotors for the car because I want to start taking it to shows, and I thought that would spruce it up a little bit.
Okay.
So I ordered them from a place.
It's a vanity thing, right?
Yes. This is just totally it.
And this is God getting you back. God getting you back for being vain.
I think it is. I really do.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
So, I ordered the rotors on the 15th of December from California.
Yes.
They made their way.
Oh, these are the parts that came and went and FedEx held onto.
Yeah, my buddies at FedEx. They made it to Hagerstown, Maryland in 4 days. From Hagerstown, Maryland, Hagerstown to White Marsh in about 6 hours. And they sat in White Marsh until last Thursday.
Wow.
And I was told by the FedEx driver who came and delivered them, a very nice man, that he was from West Virginia, and he had been here for 2 weeks straight in a cheap hotel and not making much money because they had 7 drivers quit on them the week of Christmas. So they were still working on catching up as of this week. So anyway,
that sounds like my shop.
The continuation of the story is I take them to my buddies that work on my car, and he calls me and he says, we have a little bit of a problem. I said, well, what's that? He said, well, Dodge, in their infinite wisdom, because you have such a sporty car, the calipers and the caliper brackets are aluminum. I said, well, that's cool. He says, yeah, but the bolts are steel. He said, and the threads stick out from behind the brackets, about 3 threads. He said, so when I took the bolts out with a hand ratchet, pulled the threads right out of the brackets.
Mm.
So he called Dodge, the dealership, to get brackets, and they're like $40 for the pair. And he says they usually keep them in stock because they change them every time they do brakes on one of these cars.
Wow.
I said, well, isn't that just nice of Dodge to do that? So I finally got it back yesterday, and everything's fine. We had all the BG services done on it, and tomorrow I'm going to wash it and put it away for the winter.
Okay, well, what I was ready to say before this story went through is if the reflection of that car is incredible, and you're saying that car is not clean right now, right?
No, it's not. It sat outside in the rain the other day.
So the ceramic coating is what
Yeah.
keeps that car looking so good. That's a black car,
Yep.
and as we all know, black after rain is not a good thing. But the ceramic coatings just get rid of the rain.
Yeah, they just the coatings are what they call hydrophobic, meaning they don't like water. So the water basically runs off, and I tell people when you wash a car that's coated, if you take the nozzle off the hose and just pour the water from the top down, the car will basically dry itself. So the only thing you really have to worry about is the nooks and crannies. And then the video that you did with the Hellcat, I mean, you saw how easy that was to clean up. So it's just they just make maintenance so much easier that people love them. And we're starting now. As a matter of fact, this week I've had 4 or 5 people call that we coated more than 2 years ago that just want it redone again because the coating pretty much lasts about 2 years that we were using. So.
Well, if people want to see that video, it's on my website, daveserio.com, and it's right smack in the middle of the homepage. And not only do we dyno the Hellcat, but you also see the car going in the shop that we did the videoing of. We see that it was completely wet, and how we dried it off, and it was ready to go. Amazing.
That's pretty much all you have to do. And I've had a couple of people that show their cars, and they're like, well, what do I do with all this? Can I use all this that I use? And it's like, no, you just need a damp towel and a dry towel. You can get rid of all the other detailers and spray waxes and all that because the coatings really don't like wax.
Once you get the ceramic coating from Mike, you can re-gift all of your auto supplies.
There you go. There you go. Give them to charity. So.
Well, if the poor had cars, well, what can you do? I don't know. Hey, I'm sure they do. Hey, it's great to talk to you, Mike. Hold on one bit. We'll be back with you, okay?
Yes, sir.
I don't think I'm politically correct. Anyway, Dave Woodward, how are you?
I'm doing good, and how's the weather there, Dave?
Well, it's tough. The people here in Florida were complaining today. They said it really didn't get warm. It only got up to 60. And we were walking around in this polo shirt. I've been walking around in this polo shirt today. And people were walking around in what I would consider to be fairly heavy jackets. So my farmer next to us, who has a couple horses and chickens and things like that, you would have thought that it was 30 degrees the way she was all bundled up.
Well, it's going to be 30 below, not below, but it's going to be below 30 tonight and a little bit of snow, so I'm happy. I'm happy. It's finally getting to be my season.
You want to see transmissions go is what you want to see. Bring out the snowplows.
No. Well, the funny thing is when my wife came home from work, she said that they had already pre-treated 95.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Wasn't even thinking about snow, and I don't even think it's going to snow. But, yeah, there's whatever they're spraying on the road. I think it's calcium chloride.
Well, the SHA, the State Highway Administration, has been eking to get out there and do something. So they're happy that they finally got out to do a pre-coat then.
Yeah, I'd actually gone to one of the state highway garages before Christmas, and that some of the gentlemen there were very upset because normally they, even if there's a chance of snow, they're sending out all the trucks. These guys are in the shop are getting overtime, and a lot of times they have the cots. They have a whole rack of cots. They just set up the cots, and then they camp out overnight, and a lot of them anticipate that as their Christmas bonus, and they didn't get a Christmas bonus this year because there was no salt, so no salt to spread.
Unreal. So what's happening in Jasperland?
Well, I wanted to address something, and we can do it now or do it later, and I think I've mentioned this before on a previous show, but talking about installations. And
let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Our biggest installation issue right now is on these Dodge, the 3.7, the 4.7s, and the 5.7s.
Okay.
And it's the valve seats dropping out of the head.
Okay.
And we have been having a terrible time with the intake manifolds that we don't provide, but when the valve seats drop, the little pieces get all mashed up, and then when the piston comes up in the whatever stroke it is, it doesn't really even matter, because a lot of times the intake valve is kind of jammed open at that point because it'll bend the valve stem. It's just blowing all those pieces back up into the intake manifold. And it's something that even some of the best technicians don't even think about. And we, tell everyone on the phone when you call to order the product that this could be an issue. If the failure was something not related to a valve seat, you're fine. There's not going to be a problem. But anytime there's a valve seat issue, even if you take that intake manifold and you shake it and you look inside, there's still almost 100% probability that there's still pieces in there. A lot of times they get stuck, whether there's a little bit of soot, a little bit of oil residue, or if they're so hot that they actually melt inside the plastic. And right now, this is probably our biggest warranty issue because when you reuse that intake, those little pieces will eventually get sucked back down into the engine and destroy the engine. And
now, are there warnings on these engines right now that the intake has to be replaced in order for a warranty to be gotten?
Yeah, we can't say that the intake has to be replaced, but what we can say is that we highly recommend it. If there is an issue because of those pieces getting sucked back down into the engine, we can deny the warranty claim on that. Usually it's just the labor side of things, and it's really easy to identify when we take these engines apart. We can pull the heads, and there's you can see it's a piece of valve seat, and we put giant stickers on the engine. We have it in the information pack. And myself being a previous technician, you know how we always read the directions. You know how that goes. Yeah, and even on the phone, the inside sales representatives always share that information with the customer. But sometimes, who they're sharing the information with is not the technician, and sometimes that information doesn't get relayed back to the technician, and that's why we put the stickers on. But still, probably at least once a month I'm getting the phone call, Dave, we just put this engine in. After a couple weeks, it sounds like it's got a funny piston problem, or a rod knock. It's just, oh, come on, did you replace the intake? Oh, what do you mean replace the intake? So I did have a video. We can do it now or do it later. Of one of them. It's probably the worst one I've ever seen in the field. So I took a little short video of it, and you can actually hear the.
Well, before you start the video, though, one question I have for you. The 3.7 and the 4.7s, I've seen a lot of those problems with those engines. But the 5.7 Hemi, I haven't seen as much. Is it the same problem that they're having, or is it a different one?
It is the same problem. My theory is because the 5.7, maybe the heads don't get quite as hot. I see a lot of it on the 3.7s, like in the little Liberties, because maybe when, and a lot of times this has to do with abuse as well, because maybe someone didn't properly service the cooling system and the radiator's a little clogged, or it overheated a little bit because when they get a little bit too hot, the heads swell, and then the valve seat is a steel or some kind of it's metal. It's not aluminum, so it's expanding and contracting at a different rate than the aluminum. And sometimes I've heard the stories where it's ran fine, they parked it overnight, and when they started back in the morning, it fell out, during the middle of the night. And that's scary. You're a perfectly running car, and I've even heard stories where people have taken their car to a shop to have service, and the next morning the shop starts it up, and guess whose fault it is then?
Well, that's nice try on that, but yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people think it is, yeah.
Exactly, which can be a bit of an issue for the shop. So, but yeah,
I have that kind of luck.
I've seen it before.
All right, well, show us a video, mister.
Okay.
If you go like this, okay. Oh! Wait, the glasses. You want that? No glasses. Tell me when to begin.
Yeah, this is a 5.7 Hemi that dropped the valve seat, and if you listen, good. And that's why we recommend replacing the manifold. And when you look, you're never going to get the stuff out of there. But, yep, never going to get it out. Thank you, bud.
All right, well, I'm glad that we got a chance to see that video and also see that there are still a lot of mechanics out there still chewing tobacco.
Yeah, and he obviously was replacing that intake manifold, but I since he was going to throw it away, I turned it upside down and I beat it against the ground a little bit and shook it around, and nothing fell out. Wow. So if a technician grabs it and they hear it, obviously, but sometimes, I mean, how often are you going to pick up an intake manifold and start shaking it like a baby rattle?
Absolutely. All right, so do you have a contest for us tonight?
I do have a contest.
Great. What we're going to do is we're going to come back to you, mister, and we'll take care of that contest then. Dave Windward, Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Jose Bueso, good evening to you, sir. Oh, you're muted, sir. You're muted. Hopefully you're just muted and not having a problem with your system. Oh, we lost Jose. So we may come back. What we'll do is hopefully... Are you there now? I'll tell you what, Jose, what you may want to do is restart your computer and come on back, because we've had this problem before, and it may be something going on there. I don't show you as being muted. Okay, we're going to have to do that. So we're going to go back to Mr. Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Mike, you're on by default.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
No problem. Our pleasure. So what have you been working on interesting in the last couple of days, sir?
I just finished up yesterday. We did a 911 turbo convertible that I coated 2.5 years ago. So we brought that back in. The gentleman wanted it recoated because he's going to take that to his house in Ocean City and leave it there. And he's just bought a 2016 Corvette Z06 with the Z7 race package on it. That's coming in, and we're going to coat that for him.
Do you feel comfortable talking about that story on the air?
Oh, no, it's not the same one. Not the same one.
Oh, okay.
There is an interesting story with this gentleman.
Okay.
He's got a 2015 is when they changed the body styles of the new Corvettes.
Yes, 2015.
He's got a 2015 regular Corvette that he went and ordered and had to pay extra to go to Bowling Green and pick it up.
Right.
So he got the factory tour and all that stuff, and he's driving it home, and it overheats.
Mm.
And he's about a block away from one of the big box parts stores. So he goes in, he looks under the hood, and there's no coolant in the reservoir.
Right.
So he puts coolant in the reservoir. Got him home. They come and towed it away. Apparently some kind of module didn't tell the fans to come on.
Okay.
So they had to flush the cooling system out because he didn't buy the Dex Cool or whatever they're putting in it.
Right.
And they wanted to charge him $600 to flush his cooling system out on a car that had just come from Kentucky from the factory. That's the only place it's been.
Right.
So he made a few phone calls to his best friend he went to college with that runs Kentucky's plant. Needless to say, they didn't charge him for that.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Now, how about this other story? Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, I have a customer that has a 2015 Corvette, and GM is buying it back because they had a problem apparently with the glue or whatever they're using that they glue them together with, that when it gets hot, it puts out a really strong odor that burns your eyes and makes it too uncomfortable to drive the car. So they're buying that back, and they just ordered him a new one. And
that would be like the interior parts that we're talking about?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the interior. I mean, I know they use a lot of adhesive in the bodies and things like that because it's that sheet molded compound. It's not fiberglass anymore.
Right.
It's so I imagine it's with that. I mean, just about all the cars nowadays are all put together with adhesives. So it's an interesting thing. I guess I don't know if it didn't cure enough before they sent it out or just a bad batch.
And you didn't hear about how many cars that was or whatever, did you?
No, but I mean, I would assume it's going to be a significant number because if it was in that run,
right?
You know, it would have to be a run. I mean, it's like paint problems. I mean, people think, oh, my car is painted with this brand of paint. Well, your car may be painted with one brand of paint, and a car behind you might be getting a different brand of paint. It just depends on when they run out, or you know,
right. And also what color too.
Or what vendor.
Yeah.
Because they switch vendors all the time. So, I mean, you may get one brand of color and another brand of clear.
And how many cars new have you seen that are perfect?
None.
There you go.
None. I mean, I've even seen brand new Rolls Royces. They ain't perfect. And they spend a week in the paint shop with 6 very serious people polishing that paint.
Right.
But you still, I mean, there's always defects. I mean, the car gets shipped and people touch it, so that's the problem. It's not really way. I mean, the majority of the cars come from the factory. They look very good, but then they get raced up the truck or onto the boat, and raced off the boat and into the dealerships and going out for lunches and things like that and test drives and things happen.
Right. And of course, just sitting on the lot.
Well, sure, especially this time of year with the snow.
Right.
How many, you go around, how many cars they got to clean snow off of? Those guys aren't happy about being out in the snow, so they're not taking their time.
Yeah, and we've mentioned many times on this show, and also my radio show, there are a lot of people at car shows, you'll see their signs, and they'll say, never seen the rain.
Yeah, right.
Never seen precipitation. Okay? But the manufacturer didn't care. I mean, they manufactured the car, stuck it out on a lot, and sat there for 5 to 10 days waiting for a truck to pick it up. It then goes on a truck, and then it goes on a train, and then I mean, it's like planes, trains, automobiles in order to get a car to the shop. And then once the dealer gets a hold of it, unless it's a sold car, it's out on the lot sitting on the parking lot.
Sure. Well, I saw 165 Alfa Romeos sitting on the docks in the rain.
Right.
So, they'd never been in the rain, maybe never driven in the rain, but never been in the rain? No. Sorry. Yep.
And they also got in the rain on the boat, no doubt about it.
Well, I would rather have my car sit in the rain than have some of the people wash it. So.
Well, good point. Good point. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, it looks like Jose is having a little problem getting back. So we're going to leave you just for a second, sir, and go once again to Mr. Dave Winward for his contest. And hopefully by that time, Mr. Jose will be back, okay?
Okay.
Your information, by the way, just give it out. You don't have your lower third tonight. Your contact information is 410-833-1632. There you go. And there's your website, theshineshopAutoDetailing.com. And your website's complete. It has not only the information about cars that you've worked on, just as I've mentioned many times, that's just a car show in itself. If you want to go on Mike's website and just take a look at the gallery of cars, it's amazing. This is not like he's just taking shots of cars at car shows and put them up there. These are cars that he's actually detailed and also done ceramic coatings on most of them. It's amazing. And you also have your pricing and type of products you use and people recommend it. And even for do-it-yourselfers who are brave enough to try it themselves, you've got the information on that. So real nice website. And once again, your contact information, 410-833-1632. Thanks, Mr. Mike.
Thank you.
Once again, back with Dave Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Dave, you've got a contest for us this evening. Well, you're muted again. Oh. There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, this could be easy, it could be real hard, I don't know. But what we're going to do, we got some more Jasper steak seasoning.
Sauce or steak seasoning.
Yeah, this stuff is good. It actually.
Right, and JasperMan73 at gmail.com is the email address to email the correct answer to, and the first correct answer wins the seasoning. What we got?
What is this shift indicator out of?
Oh, I know that.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, and it's a little bit old.
Yeah.
Might be older than me.
And it's in Dave Winward's collection.
Yeah, it should. One day it'll be back in the car, Dave.
We're not too sure about that. I think you got a better chance of guessing what it is than it be getting back in the car.
Well, one of two things can happen. One, we need more snow. Or two, I win the Powerball tomorrow. Even if I'm one of 100 winners, I think I can do it for that.
Well, Michelle has been dragging me all over the state of Florida. And on the way down, she wanted to get Powerball tickets in each state, okay, so she could win at that time it was 900 and some million. Now it's 1.4 something billion, which is just an absurdity. I mean, it's just ridiculous. To think there's a possibility that one person could win that kind of jackpot's unreal.
Yeah, well, you don't hear from me for a year.
I would say it's going to be split between.
Yeah, I would think so too.
But
you're looking at a guy. I'm never going to win because I've never bought a ticket. Not any kind of lottery ticket.
Yeah, I bought 3.
There you go.
I have $6 invested into this. Could be the best investment I've ever made, Dave.
And you've never played the lottery before?
I have.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm not habitual, but every now and then, if it gets that high, usually if it gets over 100 million, I'll try a ticket.
I remember at bowling one time. This is 20 years ago. I lent a guy $10. Okay, he needed it for something, I don't know. So I lent him $10. About 3 weeks later, he comes back and gives me 10 $1 lottery tickets. And I said, no. I said, here, take these back. I want the $10. Oh, but there could be thousands. I said, I gave you $10. I want $10. I don't want chances in money. So never bought a lottery ticket in my life. Never. Not even for anybody else. I won't do it.
I heard
it asked me many times, and it aggravates the hell out of her.
I heard a good one. If you win the lottery, you don't tell anybody.
Right.
What you do is you start calling everybody you know and asking for $1,000 if you can borrow $1,000. And most of them will obviously say, "Oh no, we don't have $1,000." You say, "Okay, no problem." And then about a week later, you announce that you won the lotto. So then you don't have to worry about them asking you for money.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
We have a comedian that we have the bit on my show, and he was on Last Comic Standing. And he said if he won the lottery, he would not tell his wife. He would not tell his wife he won the lottery. It was hilarious. He goes, why should I tell her? No, I don't want to tell her that.
That's good.
Keeping secrets. All right, first person to answer that question, what car did that part come out of? And the email goes to jasperman73@gmail.com. The first correct answer wins, unfortunately, a bottle of Jasper steak seasoning. You say it's pretty good, though, huh?
Oh, it's delicious. You know, this stuff costs, when you go to the grocery store, it's like $5.
Wow.
Seasoning is getting expensive. Especially that McCormick stuff. It must be because it's made in Maryland. Over there by Mike, everything's expensive up his way.
Very good. All right, well, I'm going to mention a couple of things about my radio show, and hopefully Jose will be back on. We'd really like to get Jose on the show if we possibly can. I'm Dave Serio. Every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., I am here in my studio taking care of You Ought to Know. You Ought to Know is heard and seen on the web at daveserio.com. One other thing that you may want to know is that You Ought to Know also has a free You Ought to Know app. If you go to any of the app stores and get it for free, put in You Ought to Know, Y-O-U space A-U-T-O space K-N-O-W. You can get the You Ought to Know app, and that'll allow you to watch the show, live video and audio streaming every Saturday morning, or archive shows if you would like. We have a new affiliate. We have 740 The Game and 96.9 The Game simulcasting from Orlando, Florida, every Saturday morning now from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's airing at the same time as the WFMD in Frederick show, 10 to 11. 7 to 8 is our Q1370 AM show in Baltimore. And then 8 to 10 is the 50,000 watt station Talk Radio 680 WCBM in Baltimore. So 4 hours of You Ought to Know, all on the web at daveserio.com. And of course, I also own the repair facility in Bel Air, vehicleserviceplus.com. You can go to the website and look up all the information there, and would love to have you do that. Well, I don't know if Jose is going to make it back. Sometimes when you have to restart your computer, they demand to update, as many of us know that, and he may be just a little late in doing that. We can just keep this going for just a little while longer and hope that he joins up. So we're going to go back to Mr. Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Mike, what are some of the cars that you have coming up that you know of?
I have, this week, I have a Saturn Sky, one of your listeners.
Okay, great.
And
That's a little convertible that was the twin to the, what was the other one? The Olds?
Oh, it was the the Saturn.
Saturn Sky, and I think it was Olds.
Pontiac.
Pontiac. What was the Pontiac name?
It's the same car. Pontiac. Oh man.
My mind's going blank on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, next contest.
Well, you know, that car, that was such a shame. That was not a bad car from General Motors.
No.
And then But unfortunately, they put it in the Pontiac family and the Saturn family, which GM killed at identically the same time.
Was it the Solstice or the?
Yeah, that's it. Pontiac Solstice. Very good.
And a Saturn Sky. Oh, it's a little convertible.
Yeah.
The little 2-seat convertible. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Nice little car. But it's a shame. Instead of relabeling it, and you know what they were afraid of? They were really afraid of it taking away from Corvette sales.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why they're out of business.
Yeah. In my opinion, I mean, that should have been a Chevy Solstice or Chevy Sky, okay? And just brought that under the wing and kept making that car. It's just unreal.
I'll tell you what's going to take away from the Corvette sales is that new Camaro. That 216 Camaro, that thing is insane.
Yeah, well, it's getting the love of all the magazines, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the sweet spot of all the magazines now is the GT350R, okay, and the new Camaro, and how the new Camaro is just taken over. It's like.
Did they completely redesign the Camaro? Is that what they've done?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't look that different. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, I heard
but it is completely redesigned. But I think is it still Australian or is it American now?
I don't know. The wheelbase is different. It looks completely. I mean, yeah, you're right. It kind of still does look, but to me, it looks a little bit sharper, a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
I think the tires are a little lower profile. They're saying that the handling is out of this world, supercar handling.
Huh.
Right.
Wow.
Well, it's interesting stuff. Okay, so you got a Saturn Sky coming. What else you got, mister?
And then we have a Cadillac, the little tiny Cadillac SUV. Another one of your listeners coming in Thursday.
Okay.
Friday. I'm sorry. I'm off tomorrow. So, yeah, the Sky on Thursday, the Cadillac's on Friday. Then Saturday, I have an interesting new truck, a new Colorado.
Okay.
I haven't seen one of those yet. So that'll be interesting. So
very good. You're going to do a coating on that also.
Yeah, doing a coating on the truck. The Saturn is getting waxed because it stays in the garage all the time, and the Cadillac's getting waxed.
Now, why wouldn't you do a coating on the Saturn?
Oh, I would. Customer preference.
Why don't you have a customer call me?
He's one of your listeners. I know he's heard me. He's heard you a lot.
Give him my number. Give him my number and call me.
Well, he's already talked to our sales division, and she couldn't talk him into it.
Well, have him call me before you touch the car.
No, he said he told her right on the phone. I know what Dave says about those coatings and all, but this car doesn't go out, and this is the first time it's been out in 6 months and all that kind of stuff. I just want it polished and waxed. I like to wax it. So.
All right.
No, that's okay. If he likes to wax it, good for him.
Okay, no problem.
We'll make it look pretty.
I know you will. There's no doubt about that. It'll be the best it's ever looked, I'm sure.
And then the gentleman with the Cadillac is black, and he said he had somebody else show it some love, and it didn't love them back, so now I got to fix it. So
we don't play the race card here at All Might, okay?
What?
Oh, the car is black.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Real nice, Dave.
And you know how, hey, let me tell you something. I own a black car. You've got a black car right behind you. You know how tough it is to keep them looking good. But the coatings definitely help.
Yeah, they certainly help. But,
no doubt.
I thought you were going to rag on me about my skincare tip I gave you on Saturday.
Oh, that was funny. I enjoyed that. Did you
I had a couple of people call.
What department it was in?
Yeah. I had a couple of people call and ask about that stuff. So that's cool.
Tell Dave about that. He didn't hear that.
I thought on the radio I'd call in and I try to give a new tip every week, but I'm running out. So I thought, well, I found this stuff called O'Keefe's Working Hands from a friend of mine who's a detailer in New Jersey. He says you got to try this because I always in the wintertime, especially with the soap and the dry cold air, my fingers were splitting all the time. It really makes it uncomfortable. This stuff cleared it up in about a week, and it's not greasy or slimy or anything. So I thought on the Saturday, I said, well, Dave, I'm going to give you a skincare tip. And then he just went off. Trying to embarrass me.
I don't know if I tried hard. I don't think I really had to try that hard.
No, it was funny.
And then we had later in the show, one of my listeners called up and asked me, he said, hey, Dave, where does he get, what part of the store is this hand cream in? And I, of course, said, well, I think the ladies' hand cream section is what I think.
Yeah.
And, we went on and on. We had some fun.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I swear to God, it's the best stuff I've ever used.
Is it better than corn huskers lotion?
Oh, I've used all that, the corn huskers and all that stuff. And this stuff cleared the splits of my fingers up in about a week.
How are your cuticles?
Oh, I don't know. I don't go there. So I'm basically lucky to have fingernails left with all the stuff I've sprayed on these cars.
I'm sure. Well, unfortunately, it looks like Jose could not make it back on, and that's a shame because we like it when all four of us are on at the same time, and it's not been happening recently because of technical difficulties. Last week was my technical difficulties. No matter what I did, I could not get any audio at all, and tried everything. I'm on different equipment tonight in a different state, and I'm surprised that it worked so well. So we'll see what happens next week. I will be here in Florida next week, and for the radio show, this Saturday I'm down in Florida, but the next Saturday I'll be back up in Maryland. So we'll see how everything goes. All right, guys?
All right.
All right, once again, Mr. Dave, if you'll be so kind, put up your email address once again for the contest. It is, of course, jasperman73@gmail.com. The first person that gives a correct answer to what car this part belongs to will get themselves a can or bottle or a flask or whatever you want to call it of Jasper steak seasoning. And we thank you very much. I think your mute is still on, by the way. And we thank you very much, Dave, for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show, buddy. You're still muted. All right. So anyway, thank you, Dave.
Thank you. I said enjoy the weather.
Oh, yes, I certainly will, sir. And by the way, I had a real nice day. I went out and sold some advertising for the radio show.
Okay.
And right now I have seven independent shops that will be advertising with me down here in Florida.
Wow, that's good.
Now, you want the irony of the whole situation? Okay. I had 11 shops to visit altogether that I had set up. I went on the BG website. I went on the Jasper Engine website, correlated some, find out what shops I wanted to deal with, at least to talk to, and see if they were interested. Okay? One of the shops that I went to wasn't a BG, wasn't a Jasper, but I dealt with them already here in my town of Eustis. They worked on my dually truck. Okay? Spent about $500 with them. All right? And I reminded them of that as I walked in. So I walked in there this morning. I had already talked to her about it. She said, come on back in the middle of January. Walked in this morning. She said, well, she had to talk to the person in the other, come on back this afternoon. Okay? So I go back this afternoon. I'm on my way back from doing all the others. I've had great success. I've gotten 5 today. I had 2 weeks ago. So I've got 7 total. So 5 out of the 7 shops I visited today have decided to go with me on this advertising. So I go back to this 8th shop. Went there this morning, went back this afternoon. I walk in. The old man's behind the counter. I walk up. He goes, hey, how can I help you? I said, Dave Serio, host of the show, radio show You Ought to Know, in the Orlando area. Talked to Cindy earlier and came back to talk to her about possibly being an advertiser on the show and being part of the show. I don't advertise. I don't need to advertise. I deal with word of mouth. I said, well, my show is word of mouth. I said, but it's my mouth doing the word and getting people to come to your shop. Well, yeah, right. I said, well, okay, no problem. I said, obviously, I guess you don't need any help, so there you go. Well, there's no reason for you to get smart with me. I said, excuse me? I said, let me tell you something, mister. I said, I've been around to 11 shops in the last 2 weeks. 7 of them have said yes. Guess what? None of them I've spent a dime with. I spent over $500 with your shop getting some work done on my Dodge Dually earlier in the year. And guess what? You ain't never going to see any business from me. So not only did you lose the possibility of working with me and getting more business from me, but you're never going to see my business again. And we'll see exactly how word of mouth works for you. And I walked out. Can you imagine that?
That's ridiculous.
I mean, unbelievable.
Hey,
You never even heard how much it was. It's $40 a week. Okay? Him and his girlfriend behind the counter will spend more at lunch in the next couple days.
Hey, Dave, I challenge you to go back.
No, not a chance.
Come on, Dave, second effort.
I was hoping that she would call me and say, hey, we really want to be part of it. No way. I won't. I don't go back on my word. I don't care if they want to offer me $100 a week. Ain't never going to happen.
Well, you can't have that man with that attitude.
No. I'm not going to send my listeners to the ass.
Yeah. You can't have that.
Simple as that.
Hey, but they're the best ones when you get them on your side.
Oh, yeah, but I'm not worried about that now. He ain't never getting on my side. And I had my SRT8 Challenger there, right? And I got out of his parking lot about as fast as you could get out without squealing wheels. Okay? Making a U-turn. But I didn't squeal wheels. I didn't do any drifting. But he knew how I felt. So, oh well. There's one for every seat, as Henry Ford says.
That's right.
Yep. Well, guys, thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate it, buddy.
No problem.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Mike. You guys have
thank you.
A great week. And Mike, say hi to Craig for me tomorrow when you have your meeting.
Great. Am I having a meeting tomorrow?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dave's having a meeting.
Did I say Mike?
Yeah.
I think you did say
I apologize.
Dave, I've already gotten one email that I've responded to.
What's that now?
I've already gotten one email.
Okay.
From corporate about what we had discussed.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I'll see Craig tomorrow.
All right. Well, do what you can for me to help me out. It'd be appreciated, and the money will go to a good cause.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to start pushing Jasper a lot more down here in Florida for you. And from what I've heard from the station, the shops I've talked to, it needs a little bit more publicity because the first thing people tell me is the cost. Oh, it's so expensive and it's hard to sell. And as I've mentioned to them, it's not hard to sell when you talk about the quality of the product and why it's expensive. And so we'll see what happens.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dave.
Good night, guys. See you later now.
All right.
See you guys.
And for all of you that have been listening, thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you've been watching this on archive, we'd love to have you live next Tuesday evening on the Hangout10.com network. Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. every single Tuesday. We would love to have you here. I'm Dave Serio. On behalf of You Ought to Know Live, we'll talk to you again next Tuesday night. Join me on my radio program, You Ought to Know, Saturday morning, 7 to 11 at daveserio.com. Bye-bye, everybody. Talk to you next week.